Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and as I go live or as I start this video, because I don't do any editing at all and it's just kind of off the top of my little brain here, I do recognize that I only shaved half of my face. And for the record, I just was about to shave all of it before we had a little dinner, my roommate and I, but then I decided not to because I want to look as freshly shaven as possible early in the morning tomorrow, and I don't want to be an old man and have my facial hair grow back overnight. But I didn't really think about that until I was already like, starting the shaving process. So yeah, let that be on the record. I didn't know until just right now. Anyways, well, I knew, but I didn't remember. I hope that you guys are doing fantastic. Honestly, I really do. I hope everybody out there, all of the people who tune in, if not the night that I make the videos, at some point in the near future. And you know who I'm talking to because there's like 700 videos on the channel, and I get to see on my end older videos perform a little bit better, and I think that's great. So my future self says thanks. Really appreciate it. Start watching the new videos. I download at least one a day, and as it is right now, my phone is completely just, it's being held together by scotch tape. Yep, this is true. So, just so that we all know what kind of gear I'm rocking. Any sponsors out there want to give me a phone? Anyways, right? Like, that's dreaming. I know, I'm joking. Remember, I'm a joke. Tonight, I do want to talk about something that's really interesting, though, and that is not my half shaven face, but in fact, the 1 billion plus people that are going to be on the internet in the next 5 years. And so, hey, I'm a social capitalist. I'm all for equal opportunity around the world. I mean, I am an American after all who thinks globally. Absolutely. Absolutely. No borders. Put me down on the record. I don't believe in borders either. And so I think kind of the cool thing about not believing in something that um is not real. So like there aren't real borders, we just make them up. It's important to say that because it's hard to not believe in something that doesn't literally exist. Anyways, yeah, we all have our problems, don't we? They're, the developing world, and moreover, the couple billion people over on the African continent are going to be entering the World Wide Web all within the next 5 years. Link in the description below to this really cool video that goes into far greater detail than anything I could ever possibly provide to you. So I'm just connecting you with the source. Go there. They have more factual, cited info about exactly how I'm extemporaneously speaking about this topic. And so I think it's interesting. I think that there's just a little under 5 billion people connected to the World Wide Web right now. And so there's about 3 billion people that aren't connected to the World Wide Web. And let's not get into the semantics of categorizing each one of those demographics. I'm not sure if those are children or what. I mean, how do we, let's just say that according to all of the things I learned from the video, link in the description below, that there's still a good amount of people who aren't connected to the internet. Now, this is interesting because I'm a firm believer in the eradication of lots of things globally. Poverty is one of them, health is one of them, war is one of them, as in, I'm a pro peace kind of a guy. I'd rather talk about our problems than other things, I mean, Ukraine, other places, Palestine. There's all these places in the world now, right, that are going through all these things. So when we talk about that a lot on the channel, we're not going to talk about it anymore right now. So much as that the internet provides an opportunity for the alleviation of some of these systemic global problems that are pervasive even into the middle of the 21st century. Now, We currently live in what I'd argue scholars will define as a gilded age of sorts. There's so much wealth. Everything around us should signify the kind of opulence that some people get to experience while other billions of people don't have access to Facebook. And so much is that we don't really want to, push the World Wide Web so that people could jump on Facebook. It wouldn't be such a bad idea. Now, democratization is something that was first talked about when the internet became the kind of place that it is. And remember, the internet is the infrastructure that is all of the things that make the web possible. And there's different parts of the World Wide Web. There's the surface web, there's the deep web, there's places that go further lower than that, and boy, oh boy, would I never. As much as I'm a fan of privacy and all of these things, I just feel like there's some places you don't want to go, and I'm open to going most places, but the surface web is fine for me. For my brain and how it's structured, I'm cool with the apps pre-downloaded on my phone. And even if I didn't provide my informed consent, I'm sure Uncle Sam, Anthony, and all of his lovely friends that work within the corporate realm are just as happy to do whatever they're going to do with my information, regardless of what I think or may not think what they're doing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just interesting that the internet has literally been, so far as we can tell, the better solution of how to democratize free speech. In its perfect workings, the internet is in fact an infrastructure set up so that services can be provided via the web, and it's a pretty efficient way. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It definitely democratizes communication, meaning it just makes it easier to talk to other people, which is a fundamental human right, I would argue. I mean, so much is that our governments and different kinds of propaganda teach us to hate people. I'm kind of on that first grade vibe where I'm interested in pen pals, and like, why wouldn't I want to know what goes on in Turkestan or Kazakh? Like, why not? I mean, I make videos in my room every night talking to myself in Albuquerque, New Mexico, birthplace of the nuclear bomb. So, I mean, it all comes kind of full circle, you feel me? But I'm from a real small place that actually is pretty influential on the global stage, which makes living here and being many generations from here that much more weird, in that it really is a pretty significant place, demographically speaking or geographically speaking, whatever. But, all I'm saying is that I welcome with open arms 1 billion more people on the internet in 5 years. I mean, are you kidding? That's great. That's really awesome. I mean, forget all of the profiteering and the monetization of a billion other people's data being downloaded onto some cloud so that we can be controlled in different kinds of ways. What I'm more interested in is the fact that these people will actually have an opportunity to live a kind of life that allows for them to communicate with the outside world. I mean, we got to remember that the people, the billion people plus that don't have the internet, that means that they can't connect and they don't know about what goes on in the outside world. And I feel like that's a problem. I feel like even here in America, we have the privilege to seek out information that we either believe in or that we don't, and then we can discuss it. And there's some pretty strong filters here in America. We don't have a completely uncensored, democratized, pro free speech internet. And we don't, because we know that when we give people nice things, they quite often destroy them. Such as the case is with the idea that there ever could be such a thing as a real internet where people share their real thoughts and communication and all of these things, because again, that place does already exist. It has since the inception of the internet. It's called the dark web, and we don't want to get into 5chan debates about how when we allow people the opportunity to have complete freedom as it concerns their freedom of speech and their thoughts and their actions, that it in fact quickly turns real dark. And that's more a case study of where and how these thoughts are developed to begin with, I would argue, because it happens. It happened. 5chan is a thing. You feel me? Like, I'm not making this stuff up. The guy that, like, started it, is like, he doesn't even go on the internet anymore. I mean, can you imagine like upsetting somebody so much, like somebody who's like profited, somebody who, and then like they don't even want it anymore. They're just like, nope, I'm good. No more internet for me. Thank you very much. Free speech, great. Absolutely. I'm all for it. In reality, it can get real dark and real ugly very quickly. And again, that is because of the bad actors, and that is because hate and conflict seems to sell easier and faster than such things as peace and diplomacy and conflict resolution. I mean, who didn't like watching The Apprentice because our former and future president had the catchphrase of, "You're fired." I mean, seriously, that's the world we live in. So I hope that you guys have a really good night. I really do. And again, bienvenidos, as we say here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to all of the 1 billion plus people that are finding their way now just into the 21st century, halfway there on the internet. You feel me? I mean, it's about time. And like, I'd argue that the internet should be utilized as a tool, like made up money. They call that fiat currency. Kind of like that. I mean, if we're going to base things on how much their value provides to us on an intrinsic level based on our capacity for just simply believing in them, well, then definitely believe in the power of a kind of free speech that will at least be permissible enough to allow regional and local communication so that local and regional governments can actually work on feeding people, on giving people shelter, on making sure that people aren't involved in international conflicts that they do not and would not provide informed consent to, even if they were provided with the information, because no rational human being on this planet should ever just kind of, think to themselves that since they're having a problem with somebody, it's okay to inflict violence. And it's not, it's just not. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just simply not the way. And so I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching this channel or my videos. I just spoke to all of y'all for like 14 minutes, half shaven, I mean, this is as shameless as it can be. I mean, you think I want to look like this? I mean, honestly, I don't care. But I do a little bit. At least I care enough so that I thought about how I wanted to look tomorrow. So, anyways, I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thank you for your time. And I hope that all of the new 1 billion people that are going to be on the internet, or on the web, provided the infrastructure from the internet, are just as happy to be a part of the crazy digital world as we all are. So, hats off to you and cheers. You guys have a really good night and thanks for watching. Bye.